Hey, good morning everyone. It's Nicholas, away from home today in the lovely little Portland suburb of Gladstone. I'm here getting Natalie, my partner, my wife's car serviced, and so I have about a 2.5 hour wait, so I thought I would go for a walk and then get one of my workouts in. So today we're going to do level 2 of what I call reboot base, which is 6 repeats of jogging 2 minutes and walking 3 minutes. I'm probably ready to bump on up to the next level, and I might do that later this week, but today, since I'm in a new place and things are a little different, I'll just chill out and stay at the comfortable level. It's a little rainy today. I haven't been running in the rain in quite a long time. It's been a dry summer, so I think we've got a fun day ahead of us. So come on along. Don't know if you can hear it, but the Canadian geese must be migrating. There's some over the Willamette. It's always a good idea to keep a mental map of where all of the possible pit stop locations are when you're out on your routes. This isn't near my home. I'll only come back here when I'm getting the car serviced, but always make a note because you never know when you might need it. Seems like I stumbled upon some volunteers cleaning up the shore. It's an excellent thing to do with a Saturday morning. Rather do that than get the car serviced, certainly. Of course, the ducks have something to say about that as well. And the crows. And here we go, we're running. Well, the first one's usually not my favorite, but especially not super happy today. I think if we look behind me, we'll see that most of those 2 minutes were uphill. So maybe I have a little bit of explanation, but hopefully as I go through the workout, the rest of them will feel better than this. But I think I decided that today is going to be the episode where I switch from making pilots for Fat Running, Joyful Movement, and start releasing them as full-on episodes. So, hey, welcome. I'm going to be trying to come up with at least weekly content for this, using my own runs and foray into running to communicate how running can be joyful for fat people. And if it's not joyful, maybe find something else, because you and me and all of us, we're worth more than to slog through something that's painful and unpleasant. So my mission that I have with these is to try and show a way that many people, especially fat people, because you know, you're the ones I love, you're the ones this is really for, can experience all of the good things about running without a lot of the negative baggage we may have associated with it along the way, without a lot of the pain, without a lot of the self-loathing or negative reinforcement, or without just a lot of the idea that if it's not hurting, you're not doing it right. So, welcome to episode 1 of Fat Running, Joyful Movement. As we go today, I want to explain the 3 rules that I'm setting up as I make this content. The first rule is that I am going to be completely positive. I don't think we can live our whole lives with a Pollyanna outlook. Live our whole lives without ever complaining about anything, because there's a lot of things in this existence that really suck, and we don't have to lie about that to pretend to smile. But for these videos, I want to be positive about running, and I want to be positive about the people who are running. So I'm going to enforce this mainly on myself, that I don't get to bad talk myself, and I don't get to use negative reinforcement for motivation. Where I've learned, really wise friends have taught me this, when I hear friends and colleagues who are talking themselves down, I try to remember to tell them, I don't let anybody talk to my friend like that, not even you. Do it with a smile, everybody laughs, and it's a good reminder. So that's rule one for the Fat Running Joyful Movement podcast is, or running vlog, video series. Certainly not gonna distribute just the audio. I don't think anyone wants to listen to huffing and puffing for 20 minutes. But that's rule number one. I'm gonna be positive. And now, I'm gonna run. Okay, 2 intervals down, in another rest cycle. And I think I have enough breath to talk about rule number 2. Trick is, when I get to rule number 3, if I can remember what it is. Rule number 2 is that I'm not going to talk about weight or food or dieting at all. You know, a lot of people come to running and exercise for certain reasons, and I think there's just so much bad energy. And I know that's hard to describe. What is bad energy? But negative emotional content, abuse that we get about our weight and our habits, or the flood of possibly even well-meaning advice when a fit person sees a fat person trying to exercise. I don't want any of that. From my perspective, where I am right now, I am not running to lose weight. Weight is an arbitrary measure that connects a few factors in medicine, but that is not a data point that I'm going to collect. I'm not going to talk about it, and I encourage you all to try that out. It may be that if I eat the things that my doctor says I need to eat for my health, and if I keep making running a joyful thing and do it a lot, it may be that the scale reads a different number. And I suppose that'll be fine when it happens. But that's not why I'm here, and that's not something I'm going to talk about. I'm here for the joy of running, and for your joy of running, and a big way to make it more enjoyable and less of a repeat of some of the same old patterns of negative reinforcement and negative treatment from outsiders is just to cut it off. So we don't talk about weight, we don't talk about food, we just talk about how much fun it is to run. That was my watch telling me I'd made my stair climbing goal for the day. It was not my watch telling me I could stop running. Rule number 3, which I do remember, is half of the motto of North Central College's cross country and track and field teams. Their longtime coach, Al Carius, is someone who's had a lot of success and someone who I really respect. Has a big sign up on the door. Run for fun and for personal bests. Now, nearing 50, I'm not here for competition. I'm not running for personal bests. Someday, I might try again. My 10K number simply because I've only run 1 or 2 of them. Might be something I can still catch, but the first part is there. Motivation for being here, for making these videos, for talking to people, is to run for fun. That running is joyful, and that the reason to run is that it feels good. So if running is not joyful, and if running does not feel good, probably we shouldn't do it. Or at very least, we should interrogate what we're doing and how we're doing and find a way to make running joyful. Because it can be for many people. And this is an important caveat that I wish I had stated before for people who are out there watching. Not everyone can run. Running is not an activity for everybody. And so I'm out here talking about how running can be joyful and running feels good, but that's not the case for you. You don't have to run. And you certainly shouldn't feel bad or continue trying to do something that's painful and unfun just because you think it's a good thing to do. If it doesn't feel good in this case, don't do it. There may be other things you can do, other areas, but certainly for things in the exercise and fitness world, at the base level, at the foundation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs or Bloom's taxonomy, however you want to visualize this sort of thing, the baseline is something that you can do and is joyful. If you get super fit, maybe it becomes really fun to push the envelope and do things that might be uncomfortable, but aren't actively causing your body harm. And that's fine if that's your thing. It's not where I am right now, it's not where I'm talking about, but it's fine. But if you can't get out the door at all without being in pain, being uncomfortable, hurting your body, and that just makes you feel worse, it's probably something that you should consider not doing. A lot of people say, walk before you can jog, jog before you can run, run before you can sprint, or however you want to line that out. But the best exercise is the one you get out the door and keep doing. It's not an individual activity that's gonna make us feel better over the long run, but it's a consistent set of activities. And if we don't love it, if it doesn't feel good, highly unlikely we're going to get a consistent set and make progress towards some of those other goals. So anyway, rule number 3, run for fun, run because it feels good. Running is joyous. That's why I'm here. Anything else is secondary. If something gets in the way of running being fun, running being fun is more important. All right, it's not so much fun to talk and jog at the same time now, so I'll talk to you at the next break. Okay. That's 4 sets down, a couple more to go. I think when I get up this hill, that's gonna be the high point of the loop. So maybe I'll be done with the up for a while. The up is a challenge. The rain, on the other hand, is nice. I grew up in Southwest Washington, and I live in Oregon now, so I'm very accustomed to this northwest drizzle that turns on and off and lasts most of the day. It's a welcome and a comfortable feeling, especially after a long summer with a lot of forest fires and smoke and a lot of other things. Just to be able to have a gray, overcast day where the sky is close like a nice down comforter, and there's some of that familiar rain falling. It's a good feeling. And maybe, just maybe, I can walk up this hill instead of having to jog. Another day when I'm feeling stronger, it can be enjoyable to do something difficult and challenging if you're strong enough to do it. But while I'm still getting there, it's, from my perspective and my view, not a good idea to push too hard too soon. Again, getting back to that, running should be fun. If I keep everything within my current limits, where the exercise that I'm doing is enough to spur my body to get better aerobic fitness and to get better musculoskeletal strengthening and to make my connective tissue in my feet and my ankles and my knees stronger and more lubricated. That's all good. But sometimes when I start running and I start to get some of that positive feedback, I get a little greedy and I want too much too soon. And I bite off more than I can chew, or choose whatever cliche or metaphor you want to use. I am now trying to focus on staying within limits and using consistency and the number of days of a month that I get out as my measuring posts, not how fast I do a mile or how hard I can go up a hill. I believe that's the end of the running segments for today. Feel better at the end than I did at the start. That's a good thing. I'm very glad that I did something useful with some of the time I have to wait while the car's in the shop. So that's another good thing. And I got to run in the rain for the first time in a long time. So today I'll call that a good thing. Anyway, thanks for joining me on the first episode of Fat Running Joyful Movement. And hopefully I'll see you in one of the future ones. Be good to yourselves.